Hey guys, Brian Dean here from Semrush. So I'm sure you've all seen the insane hype around AI agents and SEO. I fired my $10,000 a month agency and replaced them with OpenClaw. But does it work? No. In fact, someone recently analyzed the success stories that these SEO AI automation tools featured on their websites. And they found that 75% of their featured clients had significant traffic losses. And those were the success stories. You can imagine the dozens of sites that got wrecked and weren't featured. But there are actually ways to make AI work for you. And in this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to use AI to get better SEO results. Starting with strategy number 1, use AI to find the angles everyone else is missing. Let's start with the biggest mistake that I see people make with AI and SEO. Use it to crank out awful generic content. Yes, you can publish hundreds or even thousands of articles today with a push of a button. But here's the problem. If 5,000 people are all publishing the same content with ChatGPT, why would Google rank yours? There are only a handful of spots on page 1 of Google. And especially today, only a few of those get any clicks. So instead of using AI to create more content, you want to use AI to create better content. Let me show you exactly how to do this with an example. A while back, we published this article on exploding topics about fast-growing companies. This single page brings in thousands of visitors per month and has generated significant MRR for a SaaS company. And we recently used AI to make it much better. Specifically, we copied and pasted the content into ChatGPT and asked how we could make it even better. And it recommended that we go deeper on each startup. So we added more detailed data on each company, growth metrics, and in some cases, our own proprietary trend data. Again, AI helped us put all of this together. It gave us the idea and helped us execute. And we did the same thing with this TikTok demographics post at Backlinko. If you compare it to something like this one from Statista, they have good data, but it's essentially a list of stats. But we included more insight and analysis around what the numbers actually mean. Again, we didn't use AI just to generate a bunch of generic AI slop. Instead, we used AI to help elevate our content to bring in more leads and customers. The second way I use AI for SEO is turning data into content. Why is this important? Even with AI, data-driven content works really well. It attracts links, it gets shared, and most importantly, it brings in customers. For example, on Exploding Topics, a big chunk of our backlinks come from data-driven posts. Now here's where AI comes in. Instead of manually digging through reams of data to try to find an interesting angle, you can use AI to speed up the process by 5 to 10x. For example, let's say that you have survey results, internal product data, a data set, or even a bunch of research reports. You can feed all that into AI and ask, what are the most interesting patterns here? What stands out? What's surprising? And it will surface insights that would have taken hours for you to do on your own. Then you take those insights and build content around them. Let me give you a real-life example. We used AI to help create this workforce research post, which ended up getting coverage on Zapier and other major industry publications. Our initial data set was a survey. For this survey, we helped use Claude to generate questions for the survey, analyze the results, and suggest possible angles for the story. And one of the key angles that it helped surface was high adoption, but low training. And that became the core angle, the core tension of the entire piece. We also used AI to help generate visuals from the data, which made the content much more engaging and easier to understand. So instead of just publishing another generic article about AI in the workplace, we had something truly special and unique. And AI made the process 10 times easier. The third way I use AI for SEO has nothing to do with creating more content. It's about getting more from the content that you already have. This is something we do all the time at Exploding Topics. We'll have a trend that's interesting on its own. Then we'll take that one trend and work it into a blog post, our weekly newsletter, social content, and visuals that we can reuse on other social platforms. Before AI, this process was super time consuming. It took forever to rewrite everything and reformat it for every platform. Now we use AI to make the process much faster. For example, we could take a trend from our database and ask AI to summarize it, turn it into a short explanation, generate social posts around the trend, and even create visuals. Then we plug all that into blog content, social posts, or emails, which leads us to our next strategy: use AI to improve your click-through rate. Now, a lot of people still sleep on SERP CTR, but it's a huge ranking factor that Google has all but confirmed. In fact, I've seen pages move up in the rankings simply because they got more organic clicks than they normally would at that ranking position. So it's one of those small SEO changes that can have a big impact if you do it right. And here's how I use AI to help me with this process. So first, once I finish a piece of content, I don't just write one title tag like I used to. I'll take the article, drop it into ChatGPT, and ask, based on this content, give me 10 title tag ideas that are optimized for click-through rate. And then you'll get different variations that emphasize different angles. Some are about curiosity, some are more benefit focused, and some are just super specific. Then I'll go through and pick the best one based on my own experience. I also do a similar step to get more clicks on my existing content. I export data from Google Search Console and upload it into ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. Then I ask which pages have high impressions but low CTR. And it quickly surfaces underperforming pages and even suggests ways to rewrite title tags to get more clicks. And because this only takes a few minutes to implement, this strategy is something you can easily do for every single important page on your website. The fifth way that I use AI for SEO is building micro tools. Why is this important? In general, tools attract way more links and traffic than normal blog posts. Think about it. Anyone with AI can write an article now. AI makes that process stupidly easy. But a tool, that's something that still takes a little bit of skill, even if you vibe code it. This is something we've done a few times already at Exploding Topics. For example, here's a blog post that we had that listed the most visited websites on the internet, and in general, that page performed okay. But it had a couple of problems. First, it was a pain to update. Every couple months, someone would have to manually go in and update the data for every single website on the list. Second, anyone could come around and create the same type of list we had. So we used AI to help turn this into an interactive page. Now it's a dynamic list that updates automatically. And since we made that change, traffic to the page went up, it's easier to maintain, and it's much harder to copy. So yeah, that's the idea. Take something static and turn it into something someone can actually use. And thanks to AI, you don't need a developer to create micro tools like calculators, interactive lists, checklists, or generators. It still takes a bit more effort than writing a blog post, but the payoff is also much, much bigger. So yeah, AI definitely has its place in SEO. But if you just hand over everything to an AI agent and hope for the best, you're probably going to regret it. The real advantage is how you use AI. Specifically, I look at AI as a tool that helps me execute faster and at a higher level, not necessarily to scale up. And if this video is helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're here every week sharing insights on how to navigate SEO and marketing in an AI world. And I'll see you in the next video.